I remember I would always feel so much pain inside of me because what would happen is I would set goals and I would set like these big ambitious goals. I'll write them down or I'll go on my computer and I'll type them up and I'll be like super hyped, like, oh, I'm gonna achieve this goal. I can't wait. I'm super excited to do this. My life will change when I get to 10K a month, 6 months from now, when I'm benching 100 kilos 3 months from now. I'm super, super excited. But 3 months would go by, 6 months would go by, a whole year would go by, and I would not have achieved that goal. In fact, I wasn't even close to achieving that goal. And eventually I will realize that, like by today or like by this month, I was supposed to have achieved that goal. I was supposed to be making this much in my business. I was supposed to be looking like this. But I had failed. I hadn't actually gotten it done. And that would really, really sting. That would really, really hurt because I knew it was my fault. I knew that I had let myself down. I knew that I was the one that was scrolling on Instagram and TikTok, that I was the one that had been distracted, and it was all of it was my fault. And that was the worst part of it all. And no matter how hard I tried, no matter what I did to like improve, to become more disciplined, to just change my life and hit these goals, it would never work. Year after year, month after month, until this year. Earlier, like in January, right, I set out goals again and they were kind of ambitious, right? They were like goals that were ambitious, but they were still very doable. Like I could still achieve them. And it was in January, and just in February, so in the start of February, I was going to be going to Umrah. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Umrah with my boys, inshallah. And I'm going to come back from Umrah and I'm going to lock in, right? I'm going to be like super smashing these goals. I'm going to be making a lot of progress. And I write down these goals again. This is what I want to achieve. I want to do this. I want to do that by the end of this year. I want to do this in 6 months. And I go to Umrah, and it was such a beautiful experience, right? I'm there in the Holy Kaaba, in Makkah, Medina, all of these places, right? And it was such a beautiful experience. And I come back with this great level of motivation, with this great level of inspiration inside of me. And I'm like, oh yes, I can't wait to work hard. I can't wait to lock in. But this time, I start to move. I start to walk towards my goals with my deen firm in my hand. You see, because I had been to Umrah, my connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was stronger than ever, alhamdulillah. Like my iman was high, right? And because of that, I knew that the biggest priority for me was to also lock in with my deen. I also wanted to be praying, reading the Quran, seeking knowledge, going to the mosque, all of these things. And I wanted to still do the goals, I still wanted to achieve those, and I wanted to do the actions that will get me there. But I also wanted to be on deen because I had felt that sweetness of iman at Umrah. So I started becoming a better and better Muslim. I was still, trying to hit my goals, doing the actions, making the YouTube videos, all of that stuff. Because let me tell you, back then I had not even 100 subscribers on YouTube. I think I was at 50 subscribers, and I wanted to grow it. And I also wanted to make money online, and I was not making a single cent online. I didn't even have a business back then, but I wanted to grow in these things. I wanted to hit these goals, and I worked very, very hard for it, right? But I stayed on my deen. I stayed on my prayers. And just because of that, because I was on deen, it became easier and easier for me to do the work tasks, to show up every single day, to not procrastinate, to be productive, and for me to just get lucky, right? Because let me tell you, before this Umrah trip and before this year and even the last year, right, I was mostly a jahil. Literally there were times where I would wake up at 5 in the morning. I'm up, I'm being disciplined, I'm gonna be super productive, cold shower, everything. And in the back of my head, I knew that it was time for me to pray Fajr. But I would literally not pray Fajr. I would ignore the call to prayer. My Lord, my Creator wanted to speak to me, and I would literally ignore Him and go and just be productive, try to get work done. So obviously, I never made progress because I wasn't on good terms with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I was not on my deen like I should have been. And just changing that one thing this year has allowed me not to just hit my goals, but to literally smash them, to literally crush them. Like, I'll be a bit honest with you, I'm not trying to flex or anything, because everything I've achieved, everything in my life is, and it's only through the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I want to, like, it's like, I'm telling you this, I'm not trying to flex on you, but like, I was at 0k a month at the start of this year, and I wanted to hit 2k a month by the end of this year, right? But alhamdulillah, like, through Allah's will and only through that, we've already like doubled it, and we're halfway through the last month. And that's honestly only because I've focused on my deen. I've started to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more and more. And this is what you need to do. You need to understand and realize that everything you want, all of the goals you want to achieve, you want to get married, you want to make money, whatever you want to do, all of the success, everything is going to come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you can be like, oh, you know, like, yeah, I'm just gonna pray and just randomly pray, and like it's like an obligation, like it's a task, and just go throughout your day focused on your goals, focused on like the tasks you're supposed to do in this dunya. But, or you can actually be on deen. You can actually have this great level of khushu in your prayer, that strong connection, you know, be going to the mosque, putting that extra effort, seeking knowledge, reading Quran, all of these things. And I promise you, by doing that, by really holding firm to your deen, by really like focusing on your deen, you will also start to get the wins you want in this dunya. You will start to hit the goals. You will start to like make the money or anything you want, right? That will come to you, inshallah, through Allah's will. Because when you are on deen, number one, you don't have many distractions, right? There's no like bad things holding you back. But also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses you. He adds barakah into your life, into your days, into the work you do, and it becomes easier and easier for you to achieve your goals. But I'm not gonna lie to you, this is not like a yeah bro, just pray and you'll get to your goals. I'm not gonna lie to you. There are still going to be tests. You might still be on deen, and you still will be doing the work, you know, you're doing everything, but you might not achieve the goals, you might not achieve the things you want. And you have to understand that there in that is a test from Allah. He wants to see if you're going to be patient. He wants to see if you're still going to have that tawakkul, if you're still going to have that trust in Him. And we know from the Quran, if you are patient through the test, inshallah, Allah will bless you. Inshallah, the glad tidings will come to you. So make sure that going into 2025, you prioritize your deen, you prioritize your connection with Allah. Yes, you might want to have these New Year's resolutions, all these stupid things, right? You want to achieve these big goals. And honestly, that's a good thing to have. You should be ambitious. That's a great trait. But make sure that you're still on deen. Make sure you're like not doing sins, you're praying, you're reading the Quran, you're doing as much as you can, and you're improving on that. You're getting better and better. And you stay patient. You have that tawakkul, you have that trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And with time, but after you have been consistent, after you have showed up every single day, you will achieve the goals you want to achieve as well, inshallah. In fact, you will achieve a lot more than that through Allah's will. I hope this video was valuable for you. Go watch the video on your screen. Thank you. Bye.